Hello students, today we are going to learn something interesting and useful topic from 8th standard English textbook. But before going to learn this topic, I would like to tell you an interesting story about the Chipko movement. So friends, are you ready? Do you know the meaning of the word Chipko? Chipko means hug or cling, miti marne. The recent Chipko movement was started when the villagers in Uttarakhand region hugged the trees and prevented the men from cutting them down. The movement was started by Gaura Devi with the help of other women and little girls. One day, a little girl in village in Garhwal noticed a few men with swords and axes wildly entering the forest. She went and informed Gaura Devi. Gaura Devi collected the group of women and little girl and went into the forest, asked the men not to cut down the trees. But the men threatened them with guns. But they just clung to the trees. All the women, the group of women and group of little girls clung the trees. The men had to finally leave. Sundarlal Bahuguna is another leader of the modern Chipko movement. But the original Chipko movement started in a small village of Rajasthan. Some 300 years ago, there was a village named Khejdi. The people of the village, the Bishnoi community people, loved the trees. Once the ruler of Mewar district sent a group of people to cut the trees. The king needed wood to burn lime to be used construction of the new palace. The people of Khejdi refused to allow the king's men to cut down the trees. They hugged the trees in trying to save the trees. More than 300 people lost their lives. And when the ruler of Mewar came to know about this incident, he felt very guilty, and he immediately passed an order not to cut down the trees in Khejdi village. So friends, it is a short information of the Chipko movement. तर मित्रांनो, या छोट्याशा गोष्टीमध्ये पण आपल्याला खूप मोठा असा संदेश मिळतो. मुलांनो लक्षात ठेवा, झाडे ही आपले मित्र आहेत. Trees are our best friends. It is our duty to save and preserve them. Friends, if you are asked how trees are useful in your life, what would you tell? तुमचं उत्तर काय असेल? Your answer may be like this. Trees give us fruits, flowers, and many more things. Trees produce oxygen, which is life for us. Means trees are our lungs. We may say, no trees, no oxygen. No oxygen, no life. Life is impossible without trees. Friends, today we are going to learn one of the best poems from 8th standard English textbook, and the name of the poem is Trees Are the Kindest Things I Know. In this poem, the poet Harry Ben is giving thanks to the trees through the poem. Friends, now I am going to read the poem first. Please open your book, page number 13. Let's read the poem first. Trees are the kindest things I know. They do not harm, they simply grow and spread a shade for sleepy cows and gather birds among their boughs. They give us fruit in leaves above and wood to make our houses of. And and leaves to burn on Halloween, and in the spring new birds of green. They are the first when days begun to touch the beams of morning sun. They are the last to hold the light when evening changes into night. They are the last to hold the light when evening changes into night. And when the moon floats on the sky, they hum a drowsy lullaby of sleepy children long ago. Trees are the kindest things I know. This beautiful poem is composed by the famous poet Harry Benn. The poem starts with a statement, trees are the kindest things I know. The first line of the poem and the title of the poem is same. The poet says, trees are the kindest things I know. Poet talks about the kindness of trees. Poet says, among all the things, trees are the kindest things. They do not harm anyone. Why trees are called kindest? Why the poet says trees are the kindest things? Because they help and care others and do not harm anybody. They simply grow and demand nothing in return. In the next two lines, the poet says, and spread a shade for sleepy cows and gather birds among their boughs. Boughs means branches of the trees. How the trees help others, how the trees helps other animals, birds and human beings are explained in next few lines of this poem. The poet says, trees provide us shade to the animals and human beings as well. They give shelter, that is home, to birds on their branches and also give place to build their nest. Next two lines, the poet says, they gives us fruit in leaves above and wood to make our houses of. The poet Harry Benn says, trees provide us fruits and flowers. They also provide woods to make our houses. What are the other uses of woods? Can anybody tell me, friends? What are the other uses of woods? It can be used as fuel, to make furniture, toys, to build boats and ships. Next two lines, the poet says, and wood to make our houses of, and leaves to burn on Halloween. And leaves to burn on Halloween, and in the spring new birds of green. Halloween means a festival in autumn celebrated in western countries. पाश्चिमात्य देशामध्ये साजरा केला जाणारा हा एक उत्सव किंवा सण ज्याला आपण हॅलोवीन म्हटलंय. Poet Harry Benn says, Poet Harry Benn gives another examples of kindness of trees. In the whole poem, the poet expresses thanks towards the trees and he gives many examples. In foreign countries, there is a festival called Halloween. It is celebrated in winter season. As it is winter, people need warmth or heat. At the same time, trees shade their leaves and people burn their dried leaves to get warm. And in spring season, here in India, in our country, it is summer. The climate is extremely hot trees grow new buds to decrease the intensity of heat. This is the kindest of trees explained by the poet in these two lines. Now let's see the last stanza of this poem. They are the first when days begun to touch the beams of morning sun. They are the last to hold the light when evening changes into night. Beams means rays, Surya. As trees are very tall, the sun rays first fall on them and then they start preparing their food. Thus, they are the first to get the morning sun. Also, when the sun sets, Suryast जेव्हा होतो, they are the last to receive the sunlight. अगदी शेवटी सूर्याचा प्रकाश घेणारे कोण असतं? झाडच असतात. And in the next line, the poet says, and when the moon floats on the sky, they hum a drowsy lullaby, and sleepy children long ago. Drowsy means sleepy, and lullaby means soft, slow song to put children to sleep. त्याला आपण मराठीमध्ये अंगाई गीत म्हणतो. आई बाळाला झोपवण्यासाठी जे गाणं म्हणते त्याला अंगाई गीत म्हणतो, lullaby. And when it is night, the moon appears in the sky and cool breeze starts. The leaves sways a move. It seems like trees are singing a lullaby like a mother. झाडांच्या पानाची सळसळ जेव्हा होते आणि ती कशी वाटते? Lullaby like a mother. Mother sings lullaby to put the baby to sleep. But the poet says when the soft breeze passes through the branches of the trees, it makes a sound like lullaby. That lullaby is enough for children to sleep. The poet says trees hum a drowsy lullaby for small kids. In this way, trees are the kindest things. In this way, the poet Harry Ben has given thanks to the trees through the poem. In the end, we can say trees are really harmless. खरोखरच काय असतात? निरुपद्रवी असतात. कोणालाही उपद्रव करत नाही. They never harm anything anywhere in the world. They simply grow. फक्त वाढत असतात. And help all the living things on the face of the earth. त्या पृथ्वी तलावरच्या प्रत्येकाला मदत करत असतात. They maintain the balance of the nature. They keep the environment clean and pure. And this all as expressed by the poet Harry Ben in this poem. Friends, I hope you enjoy this poem. Now, read the poem from your textbook again, watch the video and solve the workshop given in the poem. Bye. See you on the next period.